I was looking. I'm dumb. I was looking for my phone. That's my phone right there. Welcome to the Matt and Kate Show. It is, 12:30 p.m. We are out of Holland, Ohio, coming at you live. Today in the studio, of course, we have Caitlin Myers.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's so great to see you.
Yay!
So, Caitlin, I want to tell all of our listeners that you've been talking in a British accent all day. Can you tell us why you're doing that?
I don't know. I watched this couple on YouTube, and they're both girls, and they're both, I don't know if it's Australian or British, but it's like they have that accent, and I watched them so much that I kind of just started talking in like a different tone of voice, like, can I have some candy?
Well, we have, to all of our listeners, if we sound a little giddy, a little hyper,
we had candy today.
We've been eating candy pretty much all day. Like I've had 150 grams of sugar. And so before you even had any of the candy, she saw the bag of candy and she goes, "Can I have some candy?" It's like, wait, what? I turned around expecting to see Hermione Granger or something asking me for candy. But no, it was Caitlin. So Caitlin, we've been goofy all day, which feels great being goofy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just makes the day better.
I like being goofy.
It's just fun to laugh.
Exactly.
It makes life better.
Yeah.
But sometimes laughing can be challenging.
Yeah, especially when you have a mental illness like me. I have schizophrenia, for those of you who don't know, and I deal a lot with delusions and confusion and just a whole bunch of mental stuff, and it's really hard to try to find the positives when you're going through stuff like that. Basically, you really have to have a good support system around you because it's very difficult, and sometimes I don't even know that I'm struggling because I can't tell, and it's like, oh, you are struggling, and it's like, no, I feel great, and it's like, no, we know you're struggling.
You don't necessarily know when you're having the delusions.
Yeah.
But when they're over, you know that you just went through it.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just strange how that all works.
Sure. And how long do they last?
A few weeks sometimes.
A few weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
And you talked about that support system, and you really do have a strong support system, don't you?
Yeah, I have my mom and dad and brother and sister and my family and everything. And my doctors and nurses and stuff like that, they help me all the time with stuff. And it's I really appreciate them so much more because they deal with me and stuff, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine what it's like for them.
Sure.
But they're so good about it, and they get me on a level that I can't even feel about myself.
When you're in those delusions, they understand what you're going through before you even know what you're going through.
Right.
Now, you were telling me about your sister. Now, tell me about the relationship you have with your sister.
My sister is the greatest thing to ever happen in my life.
Oh, I tried to hit the applause. It's not
no.
coming through though. Hold on. Tell me your sister is what?
My sister is the greatest person to ever come into my life.
There it is.
There we go.
What's your sister's name?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
And Sarah got a tattoo of the date that it commemorates the year that you were diagnosed as being schizophrenic.
2014.
Okay.
So that whole thing really made me emotional because it was like, my sister came home one day and she was like, I have a tattoo. And I was like, okay, can I see it? And she was like, it's for you. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
It was so beautiful and I was so excited. And she was like, I got it for you because you've struggled so much, but you've gone through a hell of a journey. Mm-hmm. And it's just been crazy and awesome when I'm doing really well, and then it goes kind of like a wave of emotions. And but life is good, and I'm in a good place right now, so I have nothing to really complain about, so that's good.
And so how can people like me and your coworkers, and how can we support you without having to get tattoos?
I think listening is the most important thing, and knowing what delusions I have and how to help with that.
Okay.
Like sometimes when I struggle with schizophrenia, it's like I kind of distance myself, and then like I tell you usually what's wrong, and then I do like a lot of crying and stuff, and like I just kind of let everything out in the open in hopes that people can help me.
Yeah, you can't keep that in, can you?
Yeah, no.
Right.
I'm an open book.
That's the best way to be.
Yeah.
Well, if you had, we always ask our guests on this show to give our listeners one piece of advice. And if you had to give our listeners one piece of advice, what would that be?
I would say appreciate the good times.
Awesome. I love that. Do you know what my piece of advice would be?
What?
Eat a bunch of candy and talk in a British accent. We're going to turn it over to some music right now. We'll be back with the Caitlin and Matt show.
See you later, guys.